Once again, back, it's the incredible, legendary nerds of the round table. Yours truly, King Nerdificent Wallace Sharp in the building, joined by McBain is back.
Kinda.
Brian Twitchmaster
I'm phasing in and out
McBain.
of reality.
All right,
Okay,
Vision.
there, stay, there, stay.
You're
Stay,
lagging,
McBain.
Twala. You keep
All
taking
right,
him out after I'm
McBain
putting him
is
in.
in the building. Long time no see, good sir.
Hey, what's up, guys?
No, you know what's funny is I'm hitting add and then it keeps looking like it was removed. So I'm like, what the but yes, okay.
Because you
McBain's
were
in the building.
removing him.
Tom is talking Cunningham.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, no, I know that. Now that's why I stopped. That is why I stopped. Yes. The fuck. Bo
You are
Kelly
7 seconds
and
behind.
Dr.
easily.
Liz from the freeway. Okay. All right.
Assemble.
We're missing
Lord.
one. We're missing two.
We saw, and at least for me, the Odyssey kicked my ass in its runtime and the trailers leading up to it. The Odyssey was loud, the Odyssey was long, and for me, the Odyssey was dull. Hot take, Troy was better. That's just me. I thought Troy was a much better piece of that story. I thought the telling of Troy starring Brad Pitt was much better. I thought that this film was hella dull. Well acted. It's well acted, but just as a movie, it was just a lot of time on the ship, a lot of thinking, a lot of talk. I mean, look, no one is new to the story. And it seems like Christopher Nolan said, hey, I know not a lot of people enjoy being forced to read this book while in junior high and high school, but I'm going to make a movie about it. And I'm going to make sure people spend as much time in the damn theater as they metaphorically did in class reading this shit. And he accomplished that. For me, the ending, the last 15 minutes of the film ramped up in such a way that I don't know if I was excited and the ending was just that thrilling, or if the movie was just so monotone that by the time it got to the climactic ending, it was just like, okay, cool. Finally, some real tension and movement and something to grab onto. I don't know. Was it
Hey,
beautiful
T?
to watch? Yeah.
I wonder, since you've seen it, and I think I'm the only one who hasn't seen it of the bunch.
Mhm.
Okay, Brian, I'm wondering, did it feel like this was Christopher Nolan's opus? In other words, I'm doing this because I want this to be my directorial legacy, like his Lawrence of Arabia or something.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope not.
I mean,
No.
like that, but that's at least a fair comparison when you look at all the grandeur that he put into this film, the score, everything in it was intended to be big. I mean, this
Mhm.
is intended to be a big movie. Little things like the voice work in the film, it's not bothersome at all, like, because it doesn't take you out of the picture because everyone is just talking how they talk, and so that wasn't a thing. um Ludwig Göransson's score once again was banging. But damn, man, I just don't know if the Odyssey needed to happen. I really walked out of like, did that need to happen? And no, I will never watch that shit again ever. I don't think anyone will watch it again ever. You see it once and it's like trying to rewatch, World Cup match. You don't rewatch the game. You watch the game and that's it. It's done.
Mhm.
You're good. Maybe you were excited in the end because your team won, but if your team lost, you're like, man, fuck the World Cup.
I
So
would
I don't know.
teach from it though. Like if I was teaching this, okay. So Tawala, I'm not a big. I didn't love the Odyssey, but listening to you make me actually love it a lot more. And I say that because I was a nerd in school, and this is a nerd AP English nerd kind of a movie. And
Oh,
I
wow.
feel like I do agree that Troy and I was thinking about this as I was watching it. I think that Troy is a better movie too. But I will also say, though, that Christopher Nolan did something that I was kind of taken aback, because my biggest gripe with the Odyssey, making the Odyssey, is that it's a lot going on. And versus like Troy is very simplistic in the fact that it's really about this one major event. It's a lead in. It's a lot more action that takes place. The Odyssey is the aftermath of Troy. And so this wandering, the aftermath of it all, um, I thought he did a really good job at, for somebody who may not have read the Odyssey. He narrowed it down. He cut a lot out, and so I thought that that was really good. I thought he does a really good job as somebody who may not be as aware of all the gods. Because if you go back and look at Troy, Troy had a lot of different dude gods, because that's what happened. A lot of gods on was all around, and they used a lot of the bigger gods so it wouldn't be so confusing. For the Odyssey, there's a lot more myth that happens behind it. And I think that they did a really good job at getting people to understand the story without getting too deep in the myth. However, I do think that this is kind of, if you know more, you'll love it more. And that, I think, is really the bigger. I think that's what makes this a lot much, to me, a lot more, resonates a little bit more with me. But I also think it's loud. Now, I wonder, was this louder than Oppenheimer, or was Oppenheimer louder?
I know Interstellar was loud as shit.
Oppenheimer.
I didn't see
I think
Oppenheimer, but
he does. I don't know that I think Oppenheimer was louder. I think if there were loud bits in Oppenheimer, they were further spread apart than in this movie.
Oh,
Because every
Tom, the
time there was,
background noise though in Oppenheimer was loud.
but I didn't have a problem hearing dialogue in Oppenheimer. And when the movie opens with the Troy thing, all I was thinking, and I bumped into some fellow moviegoers outside, and it was like a group of four, and the one guy was extremely effusive in praise and, oh, Nolan's best, blah, blah, blah. And then there was a brother, and there was this younger white woman, and then another white guy. And so my takeaway was, like Twala, this is not a movie that has a lot of repeat viewing value to me. I think that his pace with the walking around, a lot of people don't think about this, but the part of the Odyssey that takes place after the fall of Troy, because the fall of Troy, which is part of the Iliad, is included in this movie, but the part that happens after the fall of Troy takes place over 10 years. And so a lot of the pacing, I think, was designed to give us the impression that this is a slog, and you got to go back to Penelope and Telemachus and Antinous and all of these suitors, and they've been there a long time, and they're complaining, and why is he not here? And everybody else is back, but no, Agamemnon's back, but da-da-da-da-da. And so it felt to me like he was trying to tell that story and really drive home the point that the piece of the Iliad, the piece of the story that takes place during the Iliad before he goes to Troy, when he leaves, they're on the beach for 10 years. They can't crack into the city. And so people are getting pissed, until he comes up with this gambit to create a gift from the gods. And hopefully that will, get everybody, they'll get them through the gates, and then they can do their little scheme. He ends up transforming that gambit into a moral thrust that he carries throughout the rest of the movie. they lean very heavily into Zeus's law, which is basically do unto others, treat others as you would be treated. And they have this mysterious people from the sea that is this force that's spreading evil throughout, the scattered cities of Greece, blah, blah, blah. And he chose to do some things like, he has all of the classic Polyphemus the Cyclops and the cannibal giants, although they look more like oversized extras from Game of Thrones, and
Cersei and all that. Yeah,
Scylla and Charybdis. Mm-hmm. I thought the CGI on the Scylla monster was very wonky and crazy. It didn't look like a serpent as much as it looked like gnarled fingers from a crone. And then the Circe bit, to me, that felt the most mythological, and I thought that sequence was, to me, among the most compelling sequences.
And that was such a good casting choice.
Yeah, no, she was very good. And they didn't, a lot of the times they make these supernatural beings. Circe is a witch, but a lot of times they will make them attractive because she was supposed to be, seducing the men and blah, blah, blah. But Samantha Morton is not, she's certainly played way back. I mean, some people may say she's conventionally attractive. I don't know if she would say that. But in this movie, she's basically dressed like a shepherdess. But she's a very powerful witch. And she's definitely had some bad relationships because she don't like dudes very much. She's not a big fan of her sister apparently either. But that part of it I thought was cool. And Charlize Theron as Calypso, another nymph, she perhaps hewed closer to the gods or demigods or whatever are like physically attractive. That was her thing. He did switch around some of the mythology, but to be honest, the Odyssey as a very, very long story, there's lots of fluff and extra. And he stripped down, if you can believe this, he stripped out a lot of the extra to kind of, make it go through. And it is Odysseus's story, so that's fine. Telemachus goes to try to find Agamemnon and Menelaus, because Agamemnon, everybody knows, made it home, but everybody didn't know what happened to Agamemnon after he got home. And to the extent that there was so much brouhaha over the casting of two particular actors in this movie, Lupita Nyong'o and Elliot Page, they are barely in it. You don't even see. You do not see Lupita Nyong'o until we're like an hour and a half at least into the film, and she's barely in it. Her twin, Clytemnestra, gets more agency and play in the movie. And,
I mean, still, she was on set maybe, a day, because there was nothing to her being there.
No, I mean, I would say more than a day just because of the makeup issue that they had. And, so for those of you who were talking about, Lupita Nyong'o, first of all, if you saw any of her red carpet, she looked like a goddess. That silver poured on dress is absolutely crazy. Yep. But she looked amazing. I didn't really have a problem with it. I do feel that it's a really, really old story, and most of the translations are very florid and Nathaniel Hawthorne-esque, and the gods play a much more active role in the Homeric poem than they do in this translation. The Zendaya casting as Athena, there actually is a rationale for it. And I thought that was a clever payoff, because you don't understand what it is until we get into the very end of the third act, as he's kind of explaining what he did. And, Robert Pattinson was a good douchebag. The guy from In the Heights, who also played Harpo in the musical version of The Color Purple, was
also played Dr. Dre.
Yes, and Dr. Dre.
Yep.
He was a fine douchebag second in command. You know, chock full of actors. It was a whole mini MCU up in this bitch, and the Umbrella Academy with Elliot Page. So you had a lot going on, and he definitely likes to use actors that he has worked with. But my takeaway was that I thought Matt Damon was effective. I think Christian Bale, who obviously Nolan has had no problems working with, would have been better.
Hell yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Than Matt Damon, to me. And I thought I thought the people did a fine job. I think people are going to see this because it's Chris Nolan. People are not going to see this because the color palette is so rich and wonderful. And that, you know, that those drab grays and browns and darkness and all of that is just like, it's a visual feast. I didn't find it to be so. I found it to be capable. I like John Leguizamo, who was also in a superhero movie. He was in Spawn as the Violator. So a great cast. The battle sequences were pretty cool. Again, you don't really see the gods interact very much at all. And the sirens, who I think a lot of people might have been waiting for because they're, you know, legendarily beautiful in the voices and all that, that you kind of skate through the sirens pretty quick. But all of the other mythological elements, the eating of Helios's cows, you know, Poseidon cursing us, you know, all of that sort of stuff is all in there. It's just, I don't know that those epic, I mean, obviously audiences have embraced it in its first week. And some people are talking about, I've got to run out and see it again. That's 3 hours that I do not need to give to Chris Nolan.
Yeah.
I just don't. It was fine. I just don't. I don't think it lived up to the hype, to me. And I didn't expect it to live up to the hype.
You do not. I promise you, if you fall for the hype and go and see this on 70 millimeter, or you think you need to see it on IMAX, I promise you, you do not. There is nothing special that is happening with the cinematography that you have to run out and see this on 70 millimeter or IMAX or this. No, you don't. It's not that. To me, it's not that spectacular looking a film and how it's shot because of the color palette and how it looks. I'm like, I could have watched this. Honestly, I could have watched it at home. I really, really could have. And I probably would have enjoyed it more at home, if only because I would have been able to pause it at points when I thought this is about to be nap time. I could have said,
go get a sandwich
real quick. Go get a sandwich and come back.
Okay, it is 70. I did see the 75 millimeter or the 70 millimeter. I did see that. I saw it on that. Look, I told you.
You saw IMAX 70 millimeter or regular 70 millimeter?
I saw the IMAX 70 millimeter.
Okay, so you went to Universal City?
Yeah, and I thought that I don't hear a buzz, but I did.
Oh, you bought the horse?
I did get the horse.
Good Lord!
And
I bought the Moana cup instead because I didn't get the Moana cup the first time.
And I'm gonna say it's really big, but I will say though that there was a lot of buzz, not just because of Christopher Nolan. I told you guys that there's this podcast on YouTube that has been doing the Odyssey and reenactments of the Odyssey. And so it has become, you know, the teenager years, the teenagers have just soaked up this, and they are just completely was all in for this Odyssey. And so I thought that was really, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's not one of my favorite things to have read, but I also understood actually watching this why you read this in the 8th or 9th grade and you read the Iliad in your senior year, because this is it's just much more, because I reread it. to watch the movie, and it's just easy. It's just an easy read. It's easier to understand.
Dr. Liz, all that.
Liz, what the hell is going on at your house?
Liz.
Yeah, you got to stop it with all of the. No, you went
The
from one
audio.
microphone to another, and then
Yeah.
you're dropping books and stuff. It got super loud. What I would say,
Someone got a phone.
Liz is over there giving us the
fan on?
Christopher Nolan.
so Daryl Sexton asked if I saw it in 70mm IMAX. I did not. I saw it at my AMC, and I didn't even see it in IMAX. But what I will say is that I noticed, because I was looking for the aspect ratio, I knew I wanted closer to the 1.43, or at least closer to the digital IMAX aspect ratio. And I will say it certainly was not the regular 70mm aspect ratio, which is super wide. It wasn't like a 16:9 or even a 2.29 by whatever. It wasn't that. It was more like a full frame thing. I didn't feel there were ever any heads or chins chopped off like in the 70mm. The only one that is the full open view that he would want you to see it in, there's only like 23 theaters in the whole country where you can do that. And so I agree with you, Twala. I think IMAX digital is perfectly fine, because the IMAX 70mm theaters, their seating is not up to current theater standards, and they're jam packing people in there, and it's like the old school, you can barely tilt your chair back. It is not a comfortable experience. And so I think the trade-off of seeing it where you can spread your legs out, and I had an empty chair next to me, so I could recline both of my chairs and put my legs akimbo. I was chilling, and I found that to be a much more satisfying experience to see this particular movie. But again, go see it. I think Nolan in general is too hyped. I thought Tenet was horrible. I thought Interstellar spent too much time on the rules of, faster than light travel, and 1 minute here is like 10 years back on Earth, and he's pressing a thing, and through the vibration of the fourth dimension of time, he Morse coded that shit, and his daughter figured out how. Okay, got it. I don't praise Nolan the way some super fans praise him.
Like I do.
I
mean, well, you certainly love Dark Knight Rises. So
I know. What the hell's wrong with you about that?
That film was great. That film was great.
No, it wasn't.
Thank you.
No.
I will just say that it doesn't surprise me with all of the hype, especially I thought he played audiences like a fiddle. That you've got to see it on 70mm. $350 for a ticket, $1,000 for a ticket on eBay. They turned it into this whole thing. And, it's 95% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 97% from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. All of the hype about Lupita and Elliot Page, none of that dimmed any of the audiences, and there's not a single person who went to see this movie who said, I just couldn't believe that Helen of Troy was Lupita Nyong'o. Nobody thought that, because this movie doesn't deal with the face that launched 1,000 ships. It's not about her. It's Odysseus's story. And so it doesn't really have very much at all to do with Helen of Troy. She is a minor Oscar-winning character. He got 4 Oscar winners in this damn movie.
That are minor.
Yeah, that for
they really
small,
did. Tom, I agree. They really did hype up a lot of these actors and actresses. And
I mean, you think about the press tour. The press tour was primarily Zendaya. I mean, and you got to think about it, it's like, well, when Zendaya, she looked gorgeous, but her presence in the film, to me, did not garner her leading the press tour. I'm like, that was a weird choice to me. I mean, I get she's the draw. I get that she's probably the biggest draw, especially for young people. But when you watch the movie, you're like, oh, I thought like she was like the star of the film, and she is not.
And what he didn't do that most other Greek mythological movies do is that the gods are always presented in attire that makes them look radiant and godly.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not do that at all. Calypso was literally in a fishnet, not fishnet stockings, a damn fishnet as her shawl, wandering around on this beach, pulling up lotus flowers and shit. None of the divine, really, I think the only goddess you see in the whole thing is Athena. I don't think you hear about Zeus a lot.
Yeah.
And you hear about Poseidon. Poseidon is not shown on screen. Polyphemus is his son, and there's lots of talk about we offended Polyphemus and all this other, or we offended Poseidon because by hair, da. But you don't see him. You just see the actions. And so I get it. You've got Zendaya, you've got Lupita, you've got Charlize Theron. These are three of the most beautiful women on the planet. You've got Anne Hathaway in, the largest female role by a lot, in Penelope. And she did have a substantive role, and she did get to play a bit more because she is the put upon queen who's having to juggle all these political things. And then he changed the ending of the myth, which I didn't have a problem with because he had to change it because of how much he was leaning on Zeus's law and how much he was leaning on Odysseus and his violation of that law, and that being the curse, all of that. You couldn't have the original ending of the story work out. And so they changed that. But, again, a lot of people saw it this weekend. There's no question. There's nothing going against it this coming weekend. So it will stay number one. But when Spider-Man comes, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Yeah, it's a
Spider-Man
wrap.
Spider-Man is on pace to beat the domestic opening, is on pace to beat the worldwide opening of the Odyssey.
Can I say my bigger? I agree wholeheartedly when it comes to the seating. It is so uncomfortable. My son was like, "This movie is long. My back hurts. I'm uncomfortable." And I was like, "Well, you look interested." He was like, "Not enough."
No. It's literally for something this long. You have to have some comfy reclining seats and some wide seats to really, really make it happen. Like you have to.
Ryan, I was waiting for you to hop in on that.
I just give you a nod of approval, my brother.
I saw the nod. He was like, yeah. From one big thing that dropped this week to something that dropped this morning that in our chat, you may not know, but we have been going on and on and on about our confusion regarding the release of the Avengers Doomsday trailer. And this trailer dropped today, and I think the trailer is more confirmation for our dubious and unsure feelings about this film more than anything. This is a trailer that dropped, and the trailer gives you the idea, the notion, and the belief that this film somehow is kicked off with Thor coming into contact and having his entire ass whooped by Dr. Doom. But when you watch these movies, the only individuals who had any contact with Doom was the Fantastic Four. So this trailer off the top makes no sense when you started with a character who has had no interaction with Doom, i.e. Thor. That does not make sense. You also show there is beef between Wakanda and Talokan in the trailer when we know the last time that Wakanda and Atlantis met, they ended on good terms. Why is there beef? Another issue that I had is that seriously in this trailer,
say good terms.
Yeah,
they ended in a way.
It was peaceful.
It was peaceful, so there is no need for there to show this animosity and this beef.
I agree with Liz because even Namor was like, "Look, They're gonna have to
No,
come back.
I
come see
got
us.
you. But what we saw in this trailer betrays what we saw at the end of the film. It absolutely does. It betrays it in the sense that Namor is still king. Why are his soldiers and his people then going against his wishes? That doesn't make sense. It wasn't Namor that we saw them step in and his troops come at him like there was about to be beef. When Namor was the one as king who said, huh?
But at the end of the movie, they, there was beef when it came to why were you going to compromise?
No. There was beef with his girl, and Namor said, "What? The king is the king. So if the king's law says we're going to do this, we're going to do that." So that to me, it felt off in the trailer showing that there was beef.
But if his girl's not cool with it, I'm sure she's not the only one.
I mean, maybe possible. But are they going against Namor? Are they going against the Kukulkan? I doubt.
Kukulkan.
I doubt they're going against Kukulkan. That didn't make sense. And something that also didn't make sense is when you watch the teaser trailers, we are introduced to a Captain America who looks like the Captain America we remember. He's not old Steve. He is young Captain America in fighting form. And when we see Captain America make Steve Rogers make his appearance in this trailer, he looks like Dallas Buyers Club Steve Rogers. He looks like he is thin and possibly going out on a limb.
That looks like a dad. Okay, he looks like a dad.
He looks like a dad, but that's not who we saw in the teaser trailer. So then what was the point of the teaser trailer?
I actually thought that
showed him clean cut and looking like a Steve Rogers.
I was confused in a different way. I wasn't confused in y'all's way. I was more confused in, is this really new footage? Because it looked like it was a hodgepodge of other things come together.
It did. But not only that, and I think one thing that is one of the prevailing thoughts that is coming out of this trailer is this is not an exciting group of Avengers. This is not a group of Avengers that I'm necessarily rooting for. And the most powerful person you have in this group is Thor. And Thor just came to y'all and said, I literally just got my ass handed to me. Okay. I came at this dude. He grabbed Stormbreaker and one hand and looked at me like I was stupid. So I need all of you who are basically way lower on the power scale than me. I need you all to come together and do what? Now what were all the damn chairs for in the damn teaser thing? All those 50-11 chairs, and you get this handful of people that you're like, this is just not an exciting group.
They're not going to show everybody in the first trailer. Like I said, the movie's like almost 6 months from now. We're going to get some more trailers, at least one more.
Yeah, also, it's not 6 months.
5.5. Look, it's a long time. That's my point. That's my point. We're gonna get another trailer. Also, I think the main issue that we all can agree with is that since the MCU has been telling a horrible story that led to nowhere for like 2 phases, and now you get all these new faces, they want us to care about these new characters, but they never gave us a reason to care about these characters. For example, Shang-Chi, good movie. Where's he been since his movie? Okay.
No one knows, and now you're right. Who cares?
Yeah. Like they haven't given us a reason to care. Okay, so that's a big issue. That's probably the reason why we're watching it and going, okay, we know these people, we've seen them before, but we've only seen them once. But I also think that they're hiding something. They didn't show everything. They didn't shoot the full load in the first fucking trailer. That's my point I'm trying to make. Just have patience. I get it though. I'm frustrated too. But I'm just like, dude, it's just one trailer.
But let's talk about this in context. It's one trailer that we had to wait fucking year for.
Yes.
So if you're going to give us something, give us something. And also, when you have this trailer, and I have to agree with Tuwala, it's very disjointed. It's not giving us anything to be excited about. Part of the reason is the most popular Avengers of any of these phases were not in the trailer.
Yes.
You didn't have any Spider-Man. You didn't have any Dr. Doom or Iron Man. You didn't have even Guardians of the Galaxy. The personalities which drove the Avengers, not there. And I know some are dead, some have been written off, but the trailer didn't necessarily inspire the confidence or generate the momentum for the story that I would have wanted.
I mean, think about it. All the characters in this trailer, the last releases that they had for most everyone, including everyone on this panel, minus me maybe, every one of those films were considered mid. Thor's last film was considered absolute dog ass.
It
all right,
was.
no
Dog
one,
shit.
no one
Yes.
liked, no one
Yes.
really liked
Mhm.
Thunderbolts.
I said that
no
shit.
one really liked Fantastic Four. The
No, wait a
X-Men
second.
is
But no,
like damn.
I like
Thunderbolts and
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four.
Four.
but
No,
audience,
no, no.
audience
Thunderbolts
did.
are
fine.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about audiences. I'm not talking about just every single person. I'm talking about all the characters in this film had mid releases at best. Mid as far as overall reception, box office, excitement about the future of the MCU. No one in this thing, Captain America, his last outing, everyone thought that everyone shrugged their shoulders, and the thing we kept hearing is hopefully Doomsday changes this, but we haven't seen it. There
Okay,
isn't
so
even
wait,
a Deadpool in this.
I just have one question.
Hmm.
How many people on this panel bought their ticket today?
I was going to I
All
saw it
right,
was
so we're
almost
gonna see the
$30.
movie, but here's the difference, Tom.
Okay,
I didn't.
but hold on. Here's why I'm saying that, because all of us were immediately talking on the chat, and I know Ryan, you're not A-list, so I don't know why you had to pay $30 to go see this, but I know.
A-list.
So get A-list, bro. It's the cost of a movie a month. All I will say is that after all of what we were waiting for the trailer, every theater that I tried to buy tickets for on Thursday was sold out, unless it was one seat in the front row or the actual wheelchair seats, not the companion seats that recline. I had to see it at the first show on a Thursday in a literal wheelchair spot. That's the only seat I could get. Now, I got seats for me and my boys the following day, 8:30 in the morning at Universal Studios, because they have their XL screen, which one imagines is Infinity Vision certified, and I could get 3 seats together for Friday morning. But Thursday previews, it's a wrap. And
it's a wrap at AMC, but when I looked on Regal has a lot, and I think maybe it's because people believe AMC is the theater that is the only one that has the Infinity Vision. But people were saying that, and then I went on Regal, and there are seats all over the place if you want to go to a Regal.
Yeah. There's a Regal
Thursday?
right across the street.
On Thursday.
On Thursday,
even
there's
at the one in Sherman Oaks.
Yeah,
right.
right across the street from my work.
Oh, that's the Galleria, right?
Yeah, the Galleria, exactly.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I got to disagree with you, Tom. Yes, there is interest. People are going to go out and see the movie, and part of the reason I want to see it early is I don't want to hear any spoilers.
Yes.
Or have. I don't want anything to spoil that experience. But the problem is, it's not the same type of enthusiasm where we knew we were going to see this movie 3 or 4 times in the theater. You get once with me now, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between a movie making 600, 700 million and crossing the billion threshold.
I think the main issue with that, Mo, is like I said before, they had no path. They had so many things went wrong. They're just shoehorning Doom in the last second. Jonathan Majors, that whole thing. They had no direction for 2 phases. Of course, we're watching the trailer and they didn't give us what we wanted for a trailer. I get that, but there's no excitement. We're not going to get that same excitement with Infinity War or Endgame, just because they knew what the fuck they were doing leading up to those movies. And also, a lot of those movies like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, which I liked, they didn't do great at the box office. But even though they didn't do great, why are you only showing these characters once, just in their movie? Show them throughout the MCU, and they never did that. That's a big issue why people don't give a fuck about these characters. Yes, where's Shang-Chi?
Okay, that's one. But
Okay.
I mean, but we did get a homegirl who's going to be Black Widow's sister.
Okay, where's Black Panther? Where's Namor?
Well,
Where's Wonder Man? Where's Moon Knight? Where's Vision?
Shuri is in this movie.
She's in it, but where was she leading up to the movie?
But all the
There's only in one.
McBain's point is that we only saw one film from each of these people.
Exactly. That's my point. That's why people aren't really excited about these
From
new
this
characters.
phase.
I don't know.
I am
They were
not
Captain America,
saying
Sam
that,
Wilson.
that he was
He had
in
his own
2
TV
movies.
show.
I mean, he had a cameo on. Well, he had Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then he had Brave New World.
Yes.
And then he had the little piece of nothing in Thunderbolt. They haven't been releasing as many movies as they released in the first 5 phases
They didn't
either.
show him in
That's true.
Thunderbolts. That's my issue. They didn't show him. They just talked
Well,
about him, which is good. Which is good though, Tom. You're right. It's good that they mention him. But hell, don't even name drop Shang-Chi that one time after his fucking movie. What are we fucking doing? That's my point.
No, he was in an after credit sequence too.
In what movie?
Because
His
it was
own
the
movie.
Okay.
No,
My
it
point
wasn't
is-
his own movie.
Yes,
Was
it was his
his
own.
own movie?
Yes, it was
His own movie.
his own movie. He's only been shown his movie. That's it.
Yeah.
Then he disappeared. Like
He
that's
hasn't
my
been in
issue.
anything else.
Yes.
Well, but like I said, when they were releasing at its peak, Marvel was releasing 3 superhero movies a year
Yeah.
when things were rolling, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ever since the end of Endgame, and then COVID hit,
Mhm.
and the movies stopped doing so well. Black
Mhm.
Widow didn't do well, and then everything other than Spider-Man has and Deadpool,
And
Deadpool
Deadpool,
and Wolverine, which was the first MCU.
Guardians
Well,
did good. Black Panther 2
Wakanda
did good as
forever.
well.
Well, no, it did well, but it was clear that it did well on the heels of the Chadwick Boseman Black Panther.
Okay.
Audiences front loaded that movie. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, the cultural experience where people are wearing dashikis and dancing and shit. It was a dour movie that opens up with the death of a beloved
Yes.
actor, and then people weren't really digging Shuri so much. It made $800-something million.
It did good at the box office, and so did Guardians 3. Did well as also.
Oh yeah, Guardians 3.
Right.
Yeah, but still,
but those
neither
characters
of those
aren't a big
films
part of
were
this
enough
story.
to drive.
No.
I mean, we'll
Yeah.
see.
The phenomenon of the first 5 phases doesn't exist in the post Endgame world.
Yeah, but Tom, you're missing a huge point, because the first 5 phases, part of their success was directly connected to each movie moving the larger story forward.
Absolutely.
You knew that you were moving to some sort of culmination, Avengers level event. And what DC did not do, and why their universe failed, is they gave us the Avengers level event without any story building and world building up until that point.
Exactly.
And I
Right.
think Marvel is
No,
making
I
that same
get it.
mistake.
Yeah, no doubt. We've been talking about the fact that, Loki was supposed to be some connective tissue. Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be some connective tissue. All of these things were supposed to be building up to Ant-Man with Quantumania.
Oh.
All of that shit was pointing to Kang, and Kang fell apart.
Yes.
And so then they just started to throw some shit together. And I'm not even claiming, don't be confused. I'm not claiming that the multiverse shit was on the same par as the Infinity Stones and Thanos. I'm not. I'm just saying that was their plan, and their plan went completely to shit. And once it went to shit, then they threw this Hail Mary with RDJ.
desperate.
Now it's Doom, and we get Doom, and Fantastic Four builds to Doom. That's fine. You had the Thunderbolts had in their post-credit sequence the Fantastic Four ship, so that's a little bit of connectivity. But no, Shang-Chi pretty much is standing on its own until we see him fighting Gambit for some reason.
Hey, I like that. So I'm just saying, I like that.
It's fine. It's not
It's
the
fine,
same
but it
footage
doesn't.
that we
But it's
saw
one of those
in
things
that
you shrug
in
your
the,
shoulders and
in the
go, "I
release
guess we're
trailer,
doing
though.
that." Yes,
So-
it's literally like it's an I guess moment.
Yeah.
Even Elena fighting
Mystique.
Mystique. That's like, okay, sure. I guess if this is what you're doing, but none of this makes any sense because without any connective tissue to say, remember that time when they got into it before. We have none of that, and we have no. If they said we're gonna go with Doom, they should have immediately start thrusting some Easter eggs in, because when you start a trailer off with Thor talking about, I have faced every type of powerful being in the world, and me and my crew, and all my crew is dead because of this guy. Watch out, everybody! He's coming.
But he was
And that's
off
like,
world,
huh?
so he would have had.
He's
to
off world, but
encounter
there's no. But this is not off world. Doom is literally in another dimension with the Fantastic Four. There is no connection.
I
to
hear you,
Thor.
but I'm saying that's where we were left with Thor. Is he's off world somewhere.
No, he's no. We
And
saw it. He's with his daughter. They're chilling. That's why we got that first teaser saying, "Oh man, my entire life, I
Yeah,
fought my
yeah.
whole life, and all I've ever wanted was a daughter or a child, and now I got one, but now I got to go back to fight. So God's be with me." That's what we got in his teaser.
You know what?
Most
There was
point-
a way
Go
they
ahead,
could
Mo.
have solved this. And this goes to how Kang fucked up everything. If they had a unified storyline that they wanted to pursue, those teaser trailers, if they used them as actual one shots to build the narrative of Doom, show us Doom kicking the shit out of Thor,
That worked.
show us Shang-Chi hooking up with someone and saying like, look, I'm who is this Doom guy? Da 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 da. Somehow you could build it. You're making a mini Marvel universe and using the one shots as like the movies building up to this instead of giving us Endgame with some reworked scenes, making us go buy that again.
I will say
that to me, that's another thing that pisses me off, because what you're trying to tell me is that you're going to put 7 minutes on the end of Endgame, and that's supposed to explain this whole situation.
It was Tony all along. Look, I will say this to Mo's point. Yes, they made us wait so fucking long for this trailer. That's one thing that really annoyed us. 2, now for me personally, I thought I really believe this movie is just going to be a nostalgia fest, just because we fucked up, we better bring all the heavy hitters in. So when I watch this trailer, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I only see a little ounce of nostalgia with Thor, and that's it.
And Ant-Man. Don't forget, Ant-Man was standing there looking silly. Like he was literally standing looking around like, duh.
I think the biggest pop for me personally.
Ready to go to space, puppy? You never been to space? It was one of those.
The biggest pop for me that got me really excited was seeing Loki. I'm like, oh, okay. Nice. Because that connects to the TV show. We're going to maybe see Loki meet Thor, maybe. That got me excited, but just put that trailer out, making us wait that long. Like, oh yeah, don't worry, this is what we're cooking. This is gonna be great. And see the trailer, which was fine, but you should not have had us wait that long for a movie that we think is gonna be a nostalgia fest, and you don't give us some nostalgia or more nostalgia from the trailer.
I'd wipe my ass with that trailer if it was on paper.
Okay, it's not. The trailer was.
No, for me, the trailer was ass. Dead. I'm sorry, the trailer was ass. It really was.
X and Magneto look like they're 175.
They do.
Because they are, motherfucker. They are.
No, yeah, but that's not good. It looks like, man, leave those 2 dudes alone. Stop making them be in movies. You know what they should have done? They should have gone with McAvoy and what's his name?
No, because
Well,
that should
they
have done
mix
them.
it. No, because
that's not going to bring the money.
They're about to die, and you've got to go. McAvoy and Fassbender were in the past. This is the current. So the ones that are dying have to be, what's his name? It's got to be McKellen and Stewart. And they are dead, and they will be dead, and it's going to be done. So I don't mind that. It's just like, is that Rebecca Romaine as Mystique?
I think so.
In that awful Tyler Perry wig. So, they're going with that group. Even James Marsden is back, and James Marsden was killed in the second Foxman.
Third.
Is that the third one?
Phoenix,
well,
movie,
at the end, she disintegrates him.
No, actually, in the beginning of the movie, he dies.
Right, at the beginning of the third one.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's floating glasses.
Right. So the point is that they're bringing him back somehow.
He's
so
52.
So it's like
now what I did see in the trailer is something that I thought there may be some connectivity to what we last saw Photon doing in the Marvels, and how she broke through with the incursion and landed in that universe. And what it looks like Xavier is seeing out of his window is an incursion event, something that is rupturing time in their space, and maybe him and Magneto are sharing one last conversation of like, it's all a wrap and it's about to go down, and maybe it does start with them dying. Which to me, that is about as much of a cheap trick as throwing in all those fuckers in Multiverse of Madness, only to have them just wasted. Because if that's what you're going to do, if you're going to have these X-Men in there in the beginning and all of a sudden just like, you're all dead, boom, 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 that's a cheap ass trick. That's bullshit.
I
That's
don't
bullshit.
think that Magneto Ian McKellen dies that fast because he even said, I think even Dr. Liz gave
He
us a link
does
of
say
him,
that.
of him talking about he basically says, "Yo, I fuck up Jersey."
He sure did.
So I don't think he's gonna die that fast.
He said, "Whoops." Am I supposed to say that?
Yeah, so I think he's gonna be around for a little bit.
Sorry.
Well, we should all agree that this movie's being reworked from its original idea, and that's why
Now remember,
we had
this is
to
a
wait
film, and it's no secret. This is a film that they started making without the ending.
Yes.
That is a fact. They started
Yes.
shooting this film with no ending, and they kept going and going and going and having to rework stuff because they kept finding out, like, oh, that's not going to work. We're going to have to redo that whole thing. That's why it was replete with reshoots. That is already problematic, and this trailer makes it look like it's just chaos about to happen on the screen.
You know,
It
I
seemed like
really
more like a
don't
teaser
want this to
trailer.
happen. I really don't want us to get to the DC era of it all,
Well,
where
it's not
we
gonna
get
get
to
that
the. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
there's only
no.
so many times
Look,
that you can crap on people and they're going to show up enthusiastically. Now, granted, the only movie that I didn't like is the thing that you guys sort of liked was that other group that came together.
Thunderbolts.
No, I like them. The other one, in the middle of the ocean, the
Oh,
the
the
Indian.
Eternals.
I can't stand that.
Eternals.
I've
Yeah.
tried to watch it.
Where
over
are
and
they?
over again.
Where McBain?
Wait,
Where are
and
they?
clearly, and Thor said
Somebody-
we're going to need everyone's help. So where the
Somebody
fuck are
said,
they?
okay, somebody asked me
Thank you.
in my
Yeah.
channel, where is Emilia Clarke? I was like, I don't know. I don't fucking care. I hope she don't show up nowhere. Because at the end of Secret Invasion, I was like, I hope I never see you again.
But
Um,
she is hella powerful. Where is
She is. So is Wonder Man. Where is he?
And now, and here's the thing: this is not a Thanos
Getting
event where
nominated
folks
for
are
an
getting
Emmy.
snapped.
As he
That
should.
part.
This is just not a Thanos everyone got snapped event. Doom coming is something that everyone should see.
Look. I look at it like this, okay?
Oh,
We got
you
this
got a
movie,
whole
we got
island
Spider-Man, and we got
nobody
Secret War,
showed up.
and then everything gets rebooted, and everything's back. Everyone's on the same timeline. So let's just get to the finish line. That's the way I look at it.
Nah, if
I don't know,
if
McBain.
Eternals, you were about to have the whole everybody being eaten up. The planet was about to get eaten up. We had a whole island that came out of middle of nowhere,
We're
and
also supposed to have Blade too. But
nobody showed up. So I mean, whatever.
Yeah, and
Well,
literally
they
today,
dealt with that in Brave New World, though.
yeah,
That's
they
fair.
did.
That's
They did.
And today,
They didn't just leave it out there.
Feige was in an interview today, and he revealed that not being able to get Blade off the ground is one of his
Right.
biggest regrets thus
I don't know
far, and it
how
makes him
that-
feel like a complete loser.
It's just-
That he
well,
was
he sh-
able to secure
Oh.
Mahershala Ali and has not been able to do anything. Has not been
See,
able to
I think
figure
that's
out
a
how to do it.
misdirection. I saw that, and I think that's a misdirection.
I
And
hope
maybe
you're
I'm voting
right.
against hosts
I hope
because
you're right.
I don't think he would come out and just admit to failure. And we know that Marvel lies, and we know that what's in trailers are not necessarily what the movie's going to be. It would look in the way that we didn't know that we were going to get Wesley Snipes. You just don't know what they might do. I hope they make it make sense. I do personally want to see Icarus again. I do want to see Thena again.
You're not
And
going
I
to.
want that story to be paid off in some way because the way they're building it up, they need everybody. Like
Yeah.
in the way that you had Endgame and Doctor Strange is asking, is that everyone? Well, they're telling us that they need everyone. And we know that the heroes are not going to be able to finish off Doom because we have Secret Wars coming. So
Yes.
we know that. So there's ample time to bring everyone in, even just for the passing cameo. But
Now-
they gotta pay some of these movies off. They just got to.
agree.
Something else that bothered me. And I know it's not impossible for Doom to do this, but Doom shuttering off and stopping Thor in his tracks, to me, that's just they just made him way too OP for their own damn good. Because
I'm
when
sure
you
they're
do
gonna
things like that,
But that's God
problematic.
level Doom.
Yeah.
I know that's God level Doom.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's got to have the Beyonder power, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm saying
cubes or
he would
something.
have to, but for them to do that with zero explanation, because Doom didn't just get there out the gate. All right,
Right.
that's years down the line in the comics. So
Swallow.
starting with that, that's
Swallow.
crazy.
The fact that you're like even like talking about it, that's what they want. They want you to go like, oh, look, how the fuck does he get this strong? They
Well,
want
you know
to,
what?
like,
Hey,
I'm
you
just
know
saying
what?
that's what they want.
McBain, I want you to pass a message along to the MCU for me.
I mean, okay, I mean,
I want you to say, hey, Tuala said, fuck you motherfuckers for that.
I have no problem doing that. If I see Kevin Feige, I'll tell him. Where's Blade? Where's Luke Cage? Where's the immortal Iron Fist? Sworn enemy of the hand, weapon of Kung Lan.
Hey. Come on now. Come on, I was with you up until
My
that point.
Lord,
All right.
today.
Uh,
I think
Come on,
he's
Liz.
coming. I think he's coming.
Real quick,
Okay,
like
so
though,
just-
what y'all watching? What's up?
Okay, well, just
Wait, before
real
we get it,
quick,
we're not going to talk about Spider-Man at all in that latest trailer.
I'll
I mean, we
pass
can.
it.
You know what?
I will just say this: all of the Eternals are off the board. 3 of them are being interviewed by Arishem, and the other ones that didn't get killed took the Deviant ship
I
and
can't
went into
with you.
space.
Okay,
So I'm just saying they're not on
About-
Earth right
okay.
now. They dipped them. But
about Spider-Man's trailer, actually both of them. I have a question for Tuala, brother. Okay, so your complaints about the Doomsday trailer are valid. I see where you're coming from, but aren't you feeling the same way about these Spider-Man trailers? Because we still don't know who the fuck the villain is.
I've literally only watched the first Spider-Man trailer, and like
Okay.
even when I saw the Odyssey yesterday, I stepped out because I don't
Okay.
want to see anything else having to do with Spider-Man.
Okay, well, I'm just saying,
And
we still don't know what's going on.
I just haven't heard that
We do
that
not.
there is any clear idea on a villain. All I've heard is that
Yes.
they're just throwing more shit at you. That's
Yes.
happening in this film with no real clear direction.
They're hiding
And
stuff.
and they're hiding stuff. And I don't know if that is a good or a bad thing. For me, off of the first trailer, yes, I got my tickets, but off of the first trailer, I'm not entering this film feeling like, yo, this is going to be a winner. I'm entering this film going, all I know thus far, and these are things that aren't selling points for me. All I know thus far is we're dealing with a Peter Parker that is still real juvenile in his thinking, who has made this world-altering decision, and now he's feeling all sad because he sees his chick out there looking hot or whatever, and he's all lonely. He's a lonely Spider-Man, and he's going through spider puberty. And to me, those aren't selling points. Those aren't things that make me say, oh man, I've got to see this. That's not exciting. And then you throw in a whole bunch of villainous cameos that, to me, all those things we saw in the trailer, that reeks of montage to me. I think that the only people that are really going to be focused on is the Hulk, Scorpion, and Sadie Sink, whoever the fuck she is.
Punisher.
And to me, Punisher. And to me, it's like when you throw Punisher in there too, there's too much happening in a 2.5-hour spin for one character based on a story that's not even really about anything. It's just a Spider-Man movie. And I just, for me, growing up,
I thought the same thing with No Way Home.
I had a lot more
and they
respect for
surprised
Spider-Man
me.
comics.
So I'm going in with questions. Like questions. I'm not like really excited. My excitement is from the questions. I'm like, dude, you're hiding something, so this surprise better be bomb ass. I better see Daredevil. I better see Kingpin. I need to be surprised.
But see, the thing is, when you make the comparison to No Way Home, you knew you were getting high-level villains and also some extra Spider-Man.
High-level villains that were connected to the life cycle of the story at large.
You know, right? We're seeing the Hand, we're seeing Punisher, we're seeing street-level villains. I guess maybe we'll get some Daredevil, who knows? But the point is, it doesn't feel big. It feels crowded, and there's a difference. And just because you have a lot of characters that we know by name and face, it doesn't mean that it elevates the movie as a whole. And I will use Spider-Man 3 as an example. You shoehorned in Sandman, you shoehorned in Venom, you shoehorned in Green Goblin, I think it was, or Lizard, whoever it was.
Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin, excuse me. And then you know,
And Electro, yes.
right, and you couldn't really tell a coherent story in Spider-Man 3. I'm talking about going back to the
McGuire. Okay,
yes.
it's different.
yeah.
Okay.
And so
That was ass.
this
Yeah,
this
that was ass.
Spider-Man feels like that. And I love the character Spider-Man. It's always been my favorite. And I love Spider-Man movies. So I'm judging this, what they've created with Tom Holland, against everything Spider-Man prior to. It has got a lot to live up to.
I think it feels crowded because they're just not showing us what we need to see, meaning like a main villain. I just feel like they're like just blocking things off, like shutting out like things in your memory, like, oh, you can't see this, you can't see that, so this is block this out. I just think that they're hiding so much shit that the movie just seems crowded because they can't show you so much.
Okay,
That's what I think.
I will just say this. For the 2 weeks to go trailer, which is the last trailer that we're talking about, it was apparent to me that the rumors about Mr. Negative are, as kind of like the big bad, are probably true, because we hear Scorpion say, "You think I'm Scorpion?"
Yes.
And then we see Hulk out, and we hear Hulk say, "Banner's not here," or "There's no Banner," or whatever it is that he says. And so this was the first trailer where you didn't just show Tarantula is a montage. The first guy that
Boomerang, all that,
the Boomerang, all of those guys are montagey guys. Those are the street level guys that he's taking on after he's just being Spider-Man. And what this trailer did for me that I embraced was that it was clear his pursuit of MJ is actually happening. In the other trailers, it was like, oh, I don't want to bother her. Oh, I'm looking at them from afar. Oh, she's at MIT. This is the trailer where he says, "You have to come with me. I'm saving your life." And she's like, okay. And MJ is in his arms, swinging through the city. He's trying to protect her. Scorpion is trying to battle him. So they're introducing another classic spider villain with a good costume, not ridiculous like that Rhino bullshit. You're getting a good Scorpion, and you've got the Hand. And it appears that his mutation, which is what is empowering him, because you got Tillman telling him, you know, you can do this, blah, 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 that the hyped up senses or whatever, I don't know if this is supposed to be a substitute for Venom, or if it's just, you know, we're finally getting some organic webbing in this universe, that it feels to me like a better and more enjoyable movie than Far From Home. I will say that. Far From Home, I was not as big a fan of.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Far from far. It's not that hard to be better than Far From Home.
All I'm saying is, I doubt
it was
that
good.
This Spider-Man is going to be the downfall of the franchise. I don't believe that. I think that there's a lot of goodwill with Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland being married to Zendaya, that's like some Spencer Tracy bullshit. I think that works. I think audiences, I think the young people are going to embrace it because of that. I think the fans are going to stick with it because it is the one franchise that has not financially or story-wise really disappointed.
This feels like Doctor Strange 3. It really does.
2, you mean?
Oh, whatever. The multiverse of madness.
Oh, I don't think it feels like multiverse of madness.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think we're going to get. I agree that we are being fed bits and pieces of a story, and to be fair, we have not had a negative Spider-Man. We have not had a bad Spider-Man at all. I think all of our Spider-Man have been pretty good, and so I'm talking about
these movies.
I'm talking about Tom Holland.
Okay.
And so therefore, and then Tom Holland specifically said that he was not going to do this movie unless there was a good story behind it. And
okay.
I mean, they always say that. It's all about money.
I know, but I'm just gonna.
That's not a real selling point.
Yeah, RDJ saying ain't coming back.
I mean, outside,
like 60 million or some shit.
I don't see him not saying that. I just, for some reason or other, from the very first trailer, the vibe that I got was that there is a lot more Sony influence in this than I would like. And that's just my takeaway. And I'm just like, nah, dude, nah. And here's the thing, if it is bad, I won't be disappointed because I'm not really going in expecting it to be
If
good.
it's bad, I will be shocked. I'm like, damn. I mean, I had some worries here and there, but damn, man, really? That's how I feel.
There's no hype. I don't understand why they didn't use the Avengers trailer to help and propel the Spider-Man movie. I just don't get it.
Because they don't need to. That's the why.
No,
I mean, I get it.
They say they don't need to, but you want everyone to help everyone. Spider-Man is coming out in literally like a week.
Right.
And they dropped the Avengers trailer, and we had to remind ourselves, oh yeah, the Spider-Man trailer, new Spider-Man trailer came out a couple days ago. I'm just saying, I don't think that this is a coordinated marketing strategy which helps both Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday.
I'm gonna be honest with you. With the Doomsday drop, I really felt like to me, or like Kevin Feige woke up and goes, "Oh shit, I forgot to drop the trailer. Hey guys, drop that shit." That's what it felt like to me. Oh my bad, guys.
In an outbox or something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Look, I think we have not been disappointed. I am not going to be disappointed. Spider-Man, the Marvel one, not the Sony, has been pretty good. The fact that we see the Punisher through it already, I think that we're going to get some unexpected people popping up, and I'm going to enjoy. Oh boy.
Stop it, Ryan. Only unexpected one I want to see is Luke Cage and Daredevil.
Thank you. And Kingpin.
But I thought they said that they couldn't because of rights issues.
They can't unless they work out a deal. I'm hoping that they work out some back end deal and they're trying to surprise us.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great. There is no logical reason for him to not be in there outside of the being forbidden to include him. But again, real quick, before we get out of here, because I'm curious, because I've run out of stuff to watch, and I don't have Apple TV, but is there anything worth getting Apple TV to see, Dr. Liz?
Cape Fear has me shook. Cape Fear is Steven Spielberg and Martin Swayze. This is their baby together, and I am completely, what is happening? And it's supposed to be it's a defense lawyer who happens to have had a gentleman who was found guilty, was sentenced to prison for killing his wife and kid, and come to find out he didn't do it, and he's let free. And the prosecutor, she ends up marrying his prosecutor, and so he's kind of come back on this vengeance. But
I don't like the movie.
He's being kind of nice. He's being, he's kind of, it's a mental issue. Like, he's like, I don't have a problem with you guys. And so he's doing this mental, and there's all these reveals throughout it that I am going to stay awake on. I don't know I'm going to do that because I'm going to be in Vegas. But
wait, what you going to Vegas for, girl?
It's a sporting convention.
Coming back from
No, I'm on my way there. So
wait, it's this weekend?
It started last weekend. It ends on Saturday. So I'm going this week. So yeah, I'm going. But anyway, I plan on watching it. I cannot wait to see how this ends. It is a really good show. There's another show on Netflix that's up that I don't know why people hate it so much. And it's a golf show, and it is
the one with Will Ferrell?
Yeah. And people are hating on. I will say that it's not as good as the Apple TV version. So I get that. But I still enjoy Will Ferrell. I watched it. I thought it wasn't bad. So, it's supposed to be a comedy. I laughed a bit. I wasn't thinking it was a diehard fun, but I did think that it was enjoyable to watch. That's all.
All right. What you checking out, McBang?
X-Men 97 season 2. I'm all caught up. I'm digging it. The second to last episode I watched, spoiler alert, when like Apocalypse kills Magneto and Charles Xavier has like a midlife crisis. I was just like, when he basically said, look, your mama was right, you ain't shit. I was just like, Charles. I was like, okay, Charles, okay, I didn't know you were coming like that. That man had tears in his eyes in the hot ass sun, telling Apocalypse, you ain't shit, and your mama was right. Like that's basically what he said. And he was so cold that Apocalypse was just like, all right, I'm gonna let you live because that was some cold shit. I'm gonna get up out of here. But yeah, Twala, you probably don't like it, I'm guessing. I don't know if you've seen it at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, but that's
I liked it better than they did, Ryan.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. I'm seeing the last episode where Wolverine gets his groove back, his shit back. That was cool. It's I'm guessing they're gonna have some major fight with Apocalypse later on, obviously, but overall, I'm digging it. But Charles, that's some gangster shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That was Twala. You could have seen that scene, Twala. The man lost the shit.
I saw. I'm all caught up. I watched.
Okay, so what you think about that scene?
You know, I saw it and I was like, all right, yeah, all right. You're quite mad right now, Charles. You're quite hostile. You know, I mean, you know, he just blasted your boy straight through the chest right in front of you. And literally called you an ant, literally said that you ain't shit either and walked over you. And yeah, you cursed him and said, your mother should have left you to die in the desert. And, you know, that's like, I'm like.
That was a bar, though. It was a bar.
To me, no. I mean, like you said, but you know,
you blue-faced bastard.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's like Apocalypse still looked at him like, you bitch, I'm gonna leave you laying in the damn dirt.
I'm just telling Twala, this is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
When he was going off, I was expecting like a beat to drop and the microphone would drop down and Charles would start fucking spitting some bars. I thought a diss track was coming, Twala. That's how hard it was. That's all I'm saying. Take money.
Oh man. Yeah, you know.
So
unfortunately, I'm way too dyed in the wool with my X-Men comic collection to be able to enjoy this shit. It's just, to me, it's just schlock. I'm just like, let's throw some more shit together. Let's throw some more characters in. Let's just do some more. We own the IP. Throw everyone that you want in, and just do it. And just sure. I'm like,
I'm loving Morph. I love that he keeps changing all these different characters. I'm digging that. Bishop's my guy. So when he showed up in the second to last episode, I was like, dude, I forgot Bishop was in this timeline. Oh, it's fucking gangster. Yeah. So like, I love Bishop. He's like one of my favorite characters. So, and I didn't think I would like Morph because in the first season I thought he was getting on my nerves, but just he's grown on me. And how he uses his powers, I love it. I love how he has this special friendship with Logan. I dig that. I love everything he says. That like Logan like usually tells someone to fuck off, but Logan actually listens to him in his own little way.
Wait, Mo, didn't we have Morph on the show?
We did. Yes, we did. Yep.
Yeah, I forgot. We had that actor on the show.
We had more.
Cool guy. Very cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool guy. Hey, look, I'm glad someone likes it. I'm glad that it's getting support.
It's not because like the greatest thing ever, but I thought it was good. I was like, all right.
No, because I do like the fact that DeMeo is getting support. There is a huge outpouring of support for the work that he put into the show. Even though, to me, him and Zack Snyder feel the same about the X-Men, and that they probably hate nerd kind, and that's why they're doing this with this series. But that's just me. That's just my harsh, extremely harsh take on it. But hey, look, I'm glad that there's constantly content out there for nerd folks. So.
Is there any X-Men anything in live action or cartoon that you like at all?
The onlyest thing I have ever liked from the X-Men live action or animation, I would have to say would be, I don't know if you've ever watched them, but the anime X-Men
Yeah, I remember that.
little mini films that they did. I thought those were good. Even though to me the story was a little bit off, but I still thought, like, as far as the pairing and the mixture of characters, but I still thought the action and the animation was top notch. But to me, Marvel, whether it was with Fox, I didn't like, I didn't like the X-Men animated series when it first came out. I really didn't like it then.
Yeah, I
And
can see that. Yeah.
I mean, it's to me, it's been too hard for any single creator to be able to wrap their minds around telling a cohesive X-Men story without shitting on decades of storytelling, character relations, power sets, all those things. And I think that once again, they get a hold of this IP and there's characters that certain people like and they want to throw in. And it's very off-putting to my mind to see these stories being told as if this is the crew you've all known and loved. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, this was not a crew like that during this time, during these stories and stuff like that. It just ruffles my feathers, man.
Did you
It's hard to
hear
watch.
that our dude Ryan Coogler is introducing
I did hear.
Yes.
Introducing what?
Storm?
Via Wakanda. Yep.
Black Panther 3. Yep. And I saw
And
that.
he's
and I said, "Well, that's
overseeing
cool."
the look. He's overseeing the search of who Storm's going to be.
Well, I'm glad they're giving him what he
I
wants.
think that's dope. I think that the notion of them going into the X-Men storyline after Secret Wars, like that's Kevin Feige's confirmed.
Yeah.
Like we are launching the mutant saga. That's next. The next saga is the mutant saga.
Mhm.
And I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing what they do. I'm hoping that when the MCU gets a hold of it, it's done right. Because similar to me, I think the only X-Men / mutant related thing that they've done right has been Deadpool and Deadpool Wolverine. I thought that was a masterpiece. For me, Deadpool Wolverine was solid.
Yeah.
The way they gave us Wolverine in that film, I'm like, this is how the fuck I've always imagined.
I
this dude
liked
to
the
be.
third movie. The first two I thought were like, okay, fine.
No, I feel you. I mean,
Well,
I'm going. I mean,
I was just
in my mind,
I'm a fan of Deadpool, but I think that Marvel has at least they've done right by the characters that they've brought in that were done, by other studios. I think they've done the Hulk right. I think they did Spider-Man right, Punisher. I think all the characters that had turns with other studios. Yeah, I like their treatment of the Hulk.
Hulk is
I think that the Hulk
is a boring
treatment
character.
of
they
we haven't seen
portrayed
a
him?
movie. Yeah, we just haven't seen a movie with Hulk.
We've seen one movie.
Yeah, but but I liked him in Ragnarok. I thought he was great in Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok, that was peak. That was peak
Yeah.
Hulk. That was peak,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, like that to me is that to me is what I like. So I'm hoping and praying that the mutant saga is a saga that gets us back on board. I've kind of like given up on this whole saga. Like, I can't with y'all, but I'm hoping that the mutant saga does it better.
Yeah,
and maybe this will do it. Maybe X-Men 97 will lead them in the right direction. Hopefully, prayerfully. What you watching, Tom?
So I am all caught up on Agent Kim Reactivated, which there are 2 more episodes.
Yo, is it good?
It is. The first episode is kind of deceitful because the main character, Agent Kim, is still living kind of in his cover story. So this isn't a big spoiler because we find out right away. Mm-hmm. He was a North Korean special forces agent and he defects to the South. And so they have him do all these missions. And then they say, you know what? You're right. We said we wouldn't use you forever. Just go live your life. Chill. Go live your life and you'll be fine. And so he's been doing that. But when his daughter gets caught up, then he needs to bust out of the bullshit and then like basically goes completely John Wick. The things that I like about it is that unlike there's another No Mercy, I think was another one that was like that. There was a lot much more just straight ahead action. They actually have a little bit of comedy. He's got 2 sidekicks, a Taekwondo master. So Mo, that's right in there for you. And then this other guy who's basically like a baby Hulk. he's like a big, thick dude who punches like a truck and can take all sorts of physical punishment. He's basically the comic relief. And so you've got a father and daughter dynamic. You've got governmental agencies. You've got North Korea and South Korea. And so there's spycraft and all sorts of stuff going on. And, the caste system in Korea is explored once again with people treating each other like shit. But it's an enjoyable series. I thought I was going to have a heart attack at the end of the last episode because I thought that was the end. I thought I wasn't going to get anything until they reran a second season or something. But there are 2 more episodes left. So I feel confident that things are going to be resolved, which is nice. And then the other thing that I know Mo and I watched, and I don't want to get into it because I've got to go pick up my son, but The Invite is a very good movie for couples. Married couples or couples that are boyfriends. I laughed out loud. The audience laughed out loud with me. And it's because Seth Rogen is in it. First of all, Seth Rogen, your agent, is the best because you are always cast in movies with women that are several levels above you. But they do a good job.
They play off that in the movie.
They really do.
Yeah.
And they do a good job of setting you up because it's called The Invite, and whispers, people kind of know what they think they're going to get into, and it does go there, but then it stops and then it turns into something a lot more real. And it's a very satisfying little movie, especially good for couples, I would say. So those are the things I'm
okay. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about The Invite. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about The Invite.
Yeah, I think I disagree with Tom on one thing. I think you have to have been married to best understand the thrust of The Invite as far as how a marriage will evolve and how you think you know your mate, and then you realize you don't really know your mate, and what passes as acceptable lies, the things that we tell our partner or don't tell our partner, and then someone else brings something out of your partner and how that impacts your marriage specifically. Seth Rogen is a funny motherfucker. Let me just tell you that. And I know that they were not writing his lines for this movie because he is riffing most of the way. And he's like responding to other people's dialogue. And it's funny as shit. And then, like, to Tom's point, it gets real out of nowhere. And you're back into this real marriage, a real fucking marriage, what you have to deal with, that you have to fight for that relationship every single day. And you see what happens when they no longer fight. That's the only way I can describe it. And if you've gone through the vicissitudes of life and marriage, you have a greater appreciation as opposed to just dating someone and you can leave at any time.
Okay, so all right, as someone who was married, I may have to give this a look.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but what do you make of the ending? Is it? It seems like it's open ended.
It was no, not to me.
Oh,
Yeah, it was abrupt.
It was designed to be. And I think Olivia Wilde did a very good job.
She was great in it.
Giving and directing an ending that audiences should be satisfied with because it's real. It's pointing in a direction that I think is satisfying for audiences, but the uncertainty is very real.
I don't think
you could end it any other way.
I think they told you the end of the story. There was resolution. There was emotional acceptance at the end. And that's the only way I want to describe it.
Okay, so then to me, it feels like this is what makes the beautifulness of this movie, right? Is that how men and women looked at this kind of different. Because the way that I saw the very, very end, it felt like there was the question mark of what marriage is. The question mark of how a marriage could, at any second, it could be, even though we may make a decision to do one thing, that may not be how we end the marriage. It may not turn out that way.
let me dance around that. There's obviously a moment where they realize how and why they fell in love. They talk specifically about, when I met you, you were this person, you were doing this, and so forth. And then they have this realization and epiphany at the end that they are still those people, but they've gone through so much before you even meet them. The first time you see them, they're arguing. They are at each other's throats. And you wonder if there's a resignation. That's the only way I'll put it. As far as like, I don't hate you, but I'm not so sure I love you anymore.
Oh shit! You just hit me right in the gut.
No, it's definitely very real. I will say that I saw the ending as more hopeful than Mo did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
and I will leave it at that, because we've been on here an hour and a half, and I'm not going to spiral down this into getting into a heated discussion about it. I will just say that the Penelope Cruz character, who does look amazing.
Oh, she does.
She really looks really good, because she's been around for a while.
Right.
She's been
all
around
of it,
for
Ryan.
a while.
All of it. Twice on Tuesday.
So
and Brian, she was a in the movie. That's her whole thing.
No, exactly. So
she's spreading it wide.
To the extent that you think she is there for one purpose, she ends up serving an entirely different purpose. And that's why I'm looking at it more hopefully than I think Mo is, because how she ends the movie, I thought it was more than rapprochement. I thought it was the beginning of them, trying quietly to reconnect. And the reason I say that is that they open the movie almost identically, except that you're not seeing it happen. And so I think that was a beginning and an ending of the rainbow on either side of the story. And so that's why I think there's more hope in it than you appear to have. But
it was a very good movie.
Nah, I appreciate that. You all have given me lots
There's
to
only 4
potentially
people in the movie.
And Ed
lots
Norton,
to potentially watch.
I think Ed Norton was playing himself. He's an asshole in the movie, and I think he's like, oh, that's probably who he is in real life. And I enjoyed his acting. Don't get me wrong, but he was perfectly cast in this movie.
Yeah, he was there's only like 2, other than the people who don't have any lines who appear in the first 5 minutes of the movie. This is a 4-actor show.
Yeah, in the first 15 minutes, there's no dialogue, basically.
Yeah, no, they're like walking around. I mean, he said something to the kids, but it's not.
You're just seeing life. Okay.
It's worth seeing. It's definitely worth seeing. It's a small movie. It's not going to make $1 bajillion. Hopefully it didn't cost more than $20 million to make, but it's a good, solid movie worth seeing. For sure.
It's A24, and they do good.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. A24 does. Yeah. You're going to.
And they never go big budget. They always stay within.
And is it also Annapurna? I think it's also Annapurna.
I don't know.
It seemed like there were a lot of credits going into it.
Oh, for sure.
Shit. All right. Cool. Well, I know, Tom, you gotta go and get your son.
Yeah,
we got life to be lifing. Dr. Liz, go on, take us out.
Good night, everyone.
McBain.
Your mama said you ain't shit.
Mo Kelly.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Tom.
Where is my Trojan horse, Sue?
Yes. Excelsior.